Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw report for the 7th of December, 2020. And my gosh, each week I say the show gets worse and worse. Each week I keep thinking it'll be better, and each week it's not. Impact was a better show this week, and while I wouldn't say Dark is a better show, just about as much happened that matters on Dark as happened here. Anyway, Vince is out there, Triple H is out there, Raw roster stands on the stage. They pay respects to Pat Patterson. Uh, Randy Orton enters as they play a recap of his angles with Bray Wyatt, and he said most men would be afraid of the Fiend. He ditched his moral compass a long time ago, and he plans on showing him uh, his own power. Wyatt shows up in his Mister Rogers sweater, and Orton says that Wyatt didn't want to play games with him. Uh, then we see him being Wyatt, play The Price is Right, and Orton watches Wyatt's puppet, and none of them have the right answer for what's going on. He says he always has the right answer. Orton challenged Wyatt, not the Fiend, to a match tonight. Orton actually specified that he wanted Wyatt because he knew he was going to get the Fiend at TLC. Wyatt accepts. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will defend their tag team titles against Asuka and Lana at TLC. Somebody put an end to this. Like, why even have belts if you're going to make them a joke? They show social media tributes to Pat Patterson, John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Nikki Bella, Sami Zayn, Hulk Hogan, Bayley, and Vince McMahon, all hyped there. Jax hypes up Baszler for their match coming up. We finally get a match, and it's not good. Raw Women's Champion Asuka with Lana defeats Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax in a non-title match at almost 8.5 minutes. Submission attempts early. Baszler gives Asuka a back suplex. They go to the outside, and Asuka gets shoved into the announcer's table. They go to a commercial break. Baszler goes after Asuka's arm for a while. Baszler uses kicks to the chest. Asuka hits a German suplex out that, and then she hits a code breaker. Baszler counters that. Asuka counters, but gets distracted by Jax. Baszler knocks down Asuka and watches what happens outside the ring. Jax tries to powerbomb Llama through the llama. Sorry, Lana, you're not a llama. Anyway, Lana through the table and goes for leg scissors takedown. Asuka rolls out, discards Baszler for the pinfall win. This was really, really bad. Hurt Business bullied some random dude backstage. They recap a lot of things. They, including Slapjack beating Ricochet, Dana Brooke beating Mia Yim. Riddle approached Ricochet and Brooke with a box of donuts labeled Bronuts, and Riddle says he's looking for MVP, MP3? Nope, wrong decade. Ricochet told him he's busy talking strategy. Sarah approaches Ricochet and Brooke for an interview. Ricochet wasn't opposed to being a team, but he didn't want to be a team of complete jerks. Brooke has a black eye, and she says it's hard to get where she is, and she needs to get ready for Yim. Yim's retribution name is Reckoning. Anyway, Mustafa Ali said Ricochet and Brooke would reach their end tonight. Then we go to a mixed tag match. Dana Brooke and Ricochet defeat Mia Yim and Slapjack with Mustafa Ali in less than 1.25 minutes. Brooke gets a quick pinfall for her team with a Samoan driver on Yim. Ali yells at Yim and Slapjack post match. Keith Lee approaches Sheamus in the back and told him he wasn't buying the good guy act, and he knew it was a matter of time before Drew McIntyre would find out what he's really about. Sheamus is annoyed, and that ends that. They go into the second hour. They congratulate Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch for the birth of their kid. Miz TV with The Miz and John Morrison. They introduce AJ Styles and his bodyguard. Bodyguard stands outside the rings. They ask Styles about the TLC match. He says that facing McIntyre is a challenge. He says he intends to attack him with chairs, put him through every table he can. McIntyre's passion won't mean anything, and Styles is going to become champion again. Mrs. Morrison said that could only happen if McIntyre made it to TLC. They plan on beating him and Sheamus tonight. Miz and Morrison do impersonations of McIntyre and Sheamus. This is just goofy and a waste of time. Sheamus interrupts. He acts mildly entertained with this. He says he's sick of people saying he turned on McIntyre. He threatened Miz and Morrison and threatens to beat them up. He let them know that they were badly outnumbered. McIntyre enters, and he's confident about TLC, even if Styles has his bodyguard with him. McIntyre gives Miz and Morrison credit for coming back every week, no matter how many times they've been beaten. And then they basically imply that Miz calls all the shots for Morrison. I won't get into the verbiage of it, but it's edgy for the sake of being edgy. Styles makes a threat from outside the ring, and then there's a brawl between Miz and Morrison and Sheamus and McIntyre. Then there's more tributes to Pat Patterson, Roman Reigns, Natalya, Kurt Angle, Miz, Alexa Bliss, JBL, and Triple H up with these. Tag Team Champions Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods defeat Shelton Benjamin with MVP and Cedric Alexander at just under 3.5 minutes. Benjamin gets an advantage early, hits a strike with the knee, and then hits a botched double foot stomp. Benjamin counters with an SOS into a powerbomb for near fall and applies an ankle lock, but Kingston gets a rope break. Kingston sidesteps Benjamin, and then Benjamin crashes into the barricade, and then Kingston gets a pinfall win with the Trouble in Paradise. Post-match, Alexander said he's sick of the New Day slipping through their fingers. He challenged Kingston to a match right now, and the match does take place. Cedric Alexander defeated Kofi Kingston in this match. Match begins during a break, so why have it? Why not wait until you come back from commercial? Alexander in control, and he works over the leg of his opponent. Kingston comes back with chops and gets a near fall with a roll-up. Kingston follows with the SOS, but doesn't get all of it. Alexander kicked his leg out from under him and hits a brain buster for a near fall. Kingston takes Alexander to the ropes, but misses an axe handle. Alexander hits a lumbar check for the pinfall win. Surprising win for him here. Alexander celebrates crazily. He remains in the ring with his teammates as he does this. They air a Pat Patterson video and a highlight of tribute to the troops. 3-on-2 handicap match. AJ Styles with his bodyguard Omos. Miz and Morrison defeat Drew McIntyre and Sheamus 15-44. Man, that felt long. McIntyre comes out. They go to break. They come back. They do the tributes to the troops video. And then they basically give them about 3 minutes. Sheamus tries to punch Miz on the outside. Sheamus hits McIntyre by mistake. Just barely grazes him. It's not a big deal. McIntyre is slightly annoyed and told him to get his head in the match. Morrison tries to send them together, but then gets able to fall away slam over the announce desk. Morrison lands on the leather chair, and then we see the commercial break that was mentioned a moment ago. Sheamus and McIntyre are in full control when we come back. Styles has yet to get in the ring. He does eventually, and he only does this when McIntyre is vulnerable. Sheamus and McIntyre quickly regain control over The Miz. Miz and Morrison at this point are just goofy comedy fodder, so I don't really understand why you'd waste time with this. Anyway, heels take over for a bit. Styles has Sheamus in the calf crusher, but McIntyre breaks it up. Sheamus follows up with white noise. McIntyre makes a hot tag, and Morrison gets hit with clotheslines and overhead suplexes. He suplexes Miz and Morrison at the same time, which is pretty powerful. McIntyre sets up Claymore kick. Miz pulls Morrison out of the ring. Styles attacks McIntyre from behind. McIntyre is not happy with Sheamus. McIntyre gets hit with a broad kick. After Morrison ducks, Styles gives Sheamus a phenomenal forearm for the pinfall win. Lana faces Nia Jax next week. Lana's freaking out backstage after finding out she's facing Jax. Asuka convinces her to be more confident. Lana became confident, and she bumps into Jax after being confident. And Charlie Caruso interviews Sheamus, paces around backstage. There's intense stare down as they go to break. Back from break, Sheamus and McIntyre brawling in the back. And this makes other wrestlers happy. Riddle approaches Jeff Hardy with his donuts. Riddle then said he thought the Hardy Boys were one of the greatest tag teams ever, but if they teamed together, they could be the Hardy Bros. And Riddle's having real difficulty assimilating here. Hardy seems amused a little bit by this, but told him he had to head to the ring, and Riddle takes a bite out of a donut. U.S. Champion Bobby Lashley with MVP defeats Jeff Hardy in just under 13 minutes. Hardy goes to the top. MVP gets the apron, distracts him. Riddle runs down, yanks MVP down. Hardy takes down Lashley with a clothesline off the apron. They go to the break. Lashley posts Hardy when they come back from the break, takes control. And Riddle doesn't back down from Lashley, who gets in his face. Lashley hit a sleeper, but Hardy comes back with a jawbreaker, clothesline, atomic drop, and leg drop, and a low drop kick for a near fall. Hardy then hits the Whisper in the Wind for a near fall. Lashley hits a flatliner for his own near fall, and Hardy hits a Twist of Fate. Lashley avoids a Swanton Bomb, nails a spear, and gets a submission victory with the Hurt Lock. Lashley wouldn't let go, so Riddle gets in. Looks like they're going with Riddle and Lashley. That actually would intrigue me if I had any faith whatsoever they could do it well. Orton's in the back. He heard a knock on the door. He opens it, but there's nothing there. Rabbit Puppet suddenly appears behind the door and tells Orton he's going to have so much fun. Orton staring at the puppet as if it's actually talking to him. More Patterson tributes, this time Shane McMahon, Ric Flair, The Rock, Bray Wyatt, Paul Heyman, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Stephanie McMahon. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Wyatt wore black jeans and a brown sweater. Orton wrestled in actual wrestling gear. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong here. Anyway, so Orton tries a back suplex on the announce table, doesn't get what he wants on that. Wyatt hits a back suplex of his own on the edge of the table instead. He chases Phillips away, grabs a headset, and lets us know that we'd be right back. And then Orton's in control after the break. Orton barely gets a 1 count after a knee and follows with the dreaded Shinlock of Doom. Wyatt comes back with a clothesline, an atomic drop, and some running clotheslines, and a DDT for a near fall. Orton follows with a neck breaker for a near fall of his own, and gets some back suplexes, goes back to the announce desk for those. Wyatt almost gets Sister Abigail, but Orton uses his thumb to the eye. Lights go down, Orton manages to hit the RKO anyway. Lights go out completely and the red lights turn on. The Fiend is suddenly in the ring, and he put Orton down with the mandible claw as the show goes off the air. What a miserable, horrible, horrid show. Why does anybody watch this anymore? And to me, I mean, you've got, 350 people in the country, 350 million people in the country, and they can't even get 2 million of them to watch this show? That should tell them something. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.